Hello, and a heartfelt welcome to you, my friend. Settle in, grab a warm drink, and let's spend some time together. You are here because you know that mastering English isn't just about reading textbooks. It's about making real connections. Today, we're diving into one of the simplest yet most powerful questions in any social setting. What do you do for fun? This question is the key that unlocks genuine conversation and moves you past simple introductions. I promise that by the end of this story, you won't just know how to answer this question. You'll understand why asking it can change your life. As you listen, notice the easy English vocabulary related to hobbies and feelings, the words that help you express joy and relaxation naturally. Remember this truth: every small step of practice builds the foundation for your greatest leap toward fluency. Tell me, where in the world are you sharing this moment with me right now? And what time is it there? I'm truly curious. Share it in the comments below. Transition in the coming minutes. You will gain more than listening practice. You will naturally absorb essential conversational vocabulary for discussing personal interests. You will improve your listening comprehension, and most importantly, you will receive a powerful life lesson about the courage to share your true self. Storytelling begins. Our story takes us to the bustling, fast-paced city of Sydney, Australia. Our protagonist is a young software developer named Ren. Ren had moved to Sydney for an amazing job opportunity, and he was brilliant, a genius with code. However, outside of his work cubicle, Ren felt like he was living behind an invisible wall. His team at work was friendly, often inviting him to lunch or casual after-work gatherings. But when they tried to move past technical talk and into personal subjects, Ren would freeze. They would inevitably ask the simple yet terrifying question, "So Ren, what do you do for fun around here?" Ren's hobby was unusual. Back in his quiet hometown, he loved to build and paint incredibly detailed miniature models, tiny ships, historical buildings, and even small fantasy worlds. It was his passion, his way of relaxing and focusing, but he was deeply embarrassed to share it. He thought his colleagues, who spent their weekends surfing or hiking in the wild Australian bush, would find his quiet hobby childish or strange. So when asked, "What do you do for fun?" his mind would go blank. He would stammer and use generic, unconvincing answers. "I watch TV," or "I relax at home." These simple, unimaginative, meaning lacking creativity, replies were technically true, but they created a distance. His colleagues would nod politely and then quickly change the subject. The conversation would stall, meaning to stop making progress. Ren noticed that when his colleague Sarah talked about her weekend surfing, she used vibrant words like thrilling, invigorating, and challenging. People listened, laughed, and asked follow-up questions. Her descriptions were like small, engaging stories. When Ren spoke, his simple answers were like dead ends. He was communicating facts, but he was failing to communicate his personality. He knew his simple English wasn't the biggest problem. The biggest problem was his fear of judgment. He was hiding the part of himself that brought him the most joy. This fear was making him isolated. He was in a vibrant city, surrounded by friendly people, yet he felt profoundly lonely. His language skills were good enough for work, but they were not good enough for life. He needed to find the courage to bridge the gap between his professional self and his private, passionate self. He realized that the way he answered, "What do you do for fun?" was the key to tearing down that invisible wall. He needed to learn how to express his quiet joy with the same enthusiasm as Sarah expressed her love for the ocean. Ren decided his next language lesson wouldn't be about verb tenses. It would be about the vocabulary of joy. He understood that the simple answer, "I build models," was a fact, but not a feeling. He needed to learn how to express the emotion and the value of his hobby. He focused on learning phrases and words to describe his passion in a way that was engaging and accessible. Strategy 1. Describe the feeling. He learned to use strong adjectives to replace words like good or fun. He practiced saying, "My hobby is incredibly therapeutic," meaning it helps one relax and feel well. "It's very meditative," meaning it helps one focus and calm the mind. He practiced this in front of a mirror, watching his facial expression change from hesitant to confident. Strategy 2. The contrast hook. He learned to introduce his hobby by contrasting it with his busy work life. He practiced saying, "During the week my job is fast-paced and digital, but my hobby on the weekend is very slow and tactile." The word tactile means relating to the sense of touch, a great descriptive word for his hobby. The use of the coordinating conjunction, but as we learned in a previous lesson, made his answer sound dynamic and interesting. Strategy 3. The follow-up question. He understood that the key to avoiding a conversation stall was immediately throwing the ball back. After sharing his hobby, he would ask an engaging follow-up question. For example, he trained himself to say, "I love building small worlds. It takes intense focus. Does your surfing give you that same sense of concentration?" Asking about her feeling concentration rather than just the activity surfing showed genuine interest and kept the conversation flowing. Ren started using these phrases on his own. He looked up specific English words to describe his models, such as miniature, scale model, and precision tools. He practiced describing the process, step by step, using clear sequencing words. The real test came on a Friday afternoon. His team was gathered in the break room discussing weekend plans. His boss, Mr. Thompson, looked at him and asked slightly more directly, "Hey Ren, seriously, what's your escape? What do you do to unwind?" Ren took a deep breath. He didn't hide. He didn't say, "I relax." He looked Mr. Thompson in the eye and said, "My job is digital and demanding, but my passion is completely tactile. I build and paint small-scale models." Mr. Thompson paused, his expression shifting from curiosity to intrigue, meaning fascination. "Wow, models? Like tiny ships?" Ren continued, using his practiced vocabulary. "Exactly. It's incredibly therapeutic. The small, meticulous detail requires intense concentration, and it's my way of disconnecting from the screen." He then immediately used the follow-up question. "It's my form of focus." "Sarah, does the challenge of riding a wave feel like intense concentration for you too?" Sarah, who was listening intently, smiled broadly. "Absolutely. It's the only time my mind is completely quiet." For the first time, Ren wasn't just in the conversation, he was driving it. The invisible wall between him and his colleagues began to crumble, not because he was a fluent speaker, but because he was an honest communicator. From that day forward, the team meetings changed for Ren. When people asked, "What do you do for fun?" it was no longer a moment of dread. It was an opportunity. His colleagues, fascinated by the concept of miniature worlds, started asking sincere questions. They asked about the history of the ships he built and the precision needed for the paintwork. Sarah even asked him to explain the concept of scale, and he used clear, easy English to explain it. Ren discovered that his passion, which he thought was a source of embarrassment, was actually a source of connection. His detailed hobby and his ability to describe the feeling and the value of it showed his colleagues his true personality: dedicated, meticulous, and calm. He gained a newfound respect from the entire team. They saw his depth. The motivational takeaway is this: the most powerful English vocabulary is the language of your own life. Don't try to be someone you are not. When asked about your hobbies, use simple, descriptive English to share what truly brings you joy, whether it's cooking, hiking, reading, or painting miniature models. Be honest, be enthusiastic, and be ready to ask a follow-up question to keep the conversation going. To master this key conversation point, practice these steps. 1. State the activity clearly. I love to read. State the feeling it gives you. It is very relaxing and stimulating. 3. Ask them a reciprocal question. What do you do to unwind? Your goal in learning English is not just to talk about work, it's to talk about life. And your life, your hobbies, your joys, your passions are the most interesting subjects you have. Learn the vocabulary to share your true self, and you will unlock genuine connection. Thank you for joining me on this powerful journey of self-discovery through language. If Ren's story has inspired you to share your own passions with confidence, and you want to continue learning natural conversational English, please subscribe to the channel right now. Don't miss the next inspiring lesson. Keep speaking, keep sharing your joy, and never hide your passion.